Attraction does not stem from excessive kindness, it stems from self-respect. If you still believe that being accommodating, docile, and always available will make you irresistible, you are mistaken. That attitude does not arouse desire, it arouses boredom. It does not generate admiration, it generates indifference. The truth is harsh, but necessary. What truly attracts is not how much you give, but how much you value yourself, and how much you are willing to distance yourself from what does not respect you. It's not about playing the bad boy, it's about having the power of choice, not trembling when you are put to the test, not losing your essence for fear of losing someone else. That's what a woman perceives. She feels it in your gaze, in your posture, in the way you say no without apologizing. That is the real magnet, not the need disguised as kindness. That's why this video is not for those looking for easy formulas or cheap seduction phrases. It's for those who are ready to stop crawling, to stop being predictable, and to become men who know how to walk away with dignity, who understand that their life is more valuable than any momentary approval. Here, you will discover 8 clear and practical lessons to transform the way you relate. We are not talking about empty theory, we are talking about attitudes that you can apply from today. Because true attraction is not begged for, it is imposed with self-respect, and whoever understands this stops chasing because they learn to be chased. 1. Learn to leave with dignity. Fire does not go out by begging the wind to stop blowing, it goes out when you move away from what consumes it. That's how dignity works. It's not negotiable, it's defended with firm steps that know when to retreat. Leaving with dignity is not an act of cowardice, it's an act of self-respect, because staying where you're not valued is the real failure. And yet, many men cling. They think that enduring contempt is a proof of love, that insisting when there's nothing left is a sign of character, when in reality, it's nothing more than fear disguised as kindness. What you need to understand is that attraction dies when you show dependence, because need suffocates desire. A woman is not attracted to the one who begs, but to the one who knows how to say enough without trembling. The moment you are not valued is the exact moment when you must decide whether your presence is a gift or if you are becoming an emotional beggar. Staying begging does not inspire respect, leaving does. How to avoid falling into the trap of staying where you're not wanted. First, learn to listen to the signs without justifying them. If someone ignores you, humiliates you in small doses, or gives you the minimum expecting you to accept it as maximum, do not justify it with phrases like, "She must be busy," or "I'm too sensitive." That's self-deception. Dignity begins when you stop making excuses for mistreatment disguised as neglect. Second, set a clear limit with yourself. Never beg for attention. If you notice that you are always the one who seeks, who always initiates, who always holds, stop. Don't say it, don't explain it, just withdraw, because silent withdrawal weighs more than 1,000 speeches. The message is simple: I don't stay where I'm not respected. Third, work on having a life that does not depend on that relationship. When your world is so small that everything revolves around a single person, losing them feels like losing everything. But when you have projects, passions, goals, and friends, leaving ceases to be a void and becomes a transition. If your life is full, you will never feel that leaving is the end. You will feel it as a natural readjustment. Fourth, understand that leaving with dignity is not doing it with anger or drama. The one who leaves shouting seeks attention. The one who leaves in silence leaves a mark. Self-respect is not shouted, it is demonstrated with the calm of your decisions. It's not a slamming door, it's closing the door with the certainty that you will never enter again. That serenity hurts more than any insult because it shows that you don't need to destroy anything to release your value. Finally, remember that your dignity is your letter of introduction in any relationship. If you sacrifice it, you lose everything. Every time you accept less than you deserve, you teach others how to treat you. And every time you withdraw when you're not valued, you reinforce the most powerful message. I don't need to beg for space, because I am space myself. Leaving with dignity does not mean losing, it means gaining respect, even if it hurts at first. It's the first step to becoming someone who doesn't chase, but attracts. Because true attraction is born the moment you show that you are not afraid to lose anyone when it comes to not losing yourself. 2. Defend your boundaries without trembling. A wall that crumbles at the first blow never protected anything. That's how personal boundaries are. If you tremble when defending them, they really don't exist. And when they don't exist, your worth dilutes, your presence loses strength, and your dignity is at the mercy of others. Many times we confuse love with enduring everything, with always giving in, with swallowing our words so as not to cause discomfort. But the truth is that what kills attraction the most is not saying no, it's showing that you don't have the courage to uphold it. The psychology of attraction is clear. A man without boundaries is a predictable, manipulable, easy-to-shape man. And what is easy to shape ceases to be attractive because it conveys insecurity and dependence. It's not about shouting or imposing yourself violently, it's about having enough firmness so that your decisions don't wobble when someone puts them to the test. Defending your boundaries begins with something basic, recognizing them. Many men don't even know what they accept and what they don't accept in a relationship. They justify themselves by saying, "I don't want problems." But in reality, the biggest problem is not having clarity. If you don't define what you tolerate, anything will be acceptable and you will end up losing self-respect. Make an internal list, mental or written, of what is non-negotiable for you. And once you define it, don't sacrifice it for fear of losing someone. Another key tip: never over-explain your boundaries. Constant justification conveys insecurity. If you say, "I don't accept insults," don't disguise it with 20 reasons. Say it firmly and maintain your stance. Weak explanation opens the door to manipulation. The real boundary is not begged for, it is communicated calmly and upheld with coherence. You should also learn to detect the test moment. It always comes. It can be a mockery disguised as a joke, an attempt to overstep what you've already made clear, or a gesture of contempt. At that moment, your reaction will mark the way. If you give in, you lost authority. If you maintain the boundary, you gained respect. That is the exact point where attraction is defined, not in nice words, but in your ability to uphold what you say. Another fundamental aspect is to remain calm when someone challenges your boundaries. Losing control makes you look insecure, while standing firm with serenity conveys real strength. Respect comes from coherence, not from noise. Whoever doesn't need to raise their voice to be respected has a power that is not disputed, because it is anchored in inner security. And never forget that boundaries are not barriers to distance yourself from the world. They are filters to protect your essence. The man who doesn't filter what enters his life ends up surrounded by what destroys him. The man who defends his space without trembling attracts precisely because he shows that his worth is not up for discussion. That's what arouses desire, the certainty that you can't play with him, that his presence is not easy ground to invade. Defending your boundaries is actually defending your future. Every time you say no to what degrades you, you are saying yes to your dignity. And every time you uphold that no without trembling, you are sending a silent but powerful message. With me, it's not about trying your luck. With me, it's about respecting or losing me. That is the true basis of attraction, because nobody desires what is given without resistance, but everyone admires what remains firm, even under pressure. 3. Create a life that speaks for you. The statue does not convince anyone with words, its mere presence commands respect. This is how your life should be, a silent message that conveys more than any speech. Because real attraction does not come from what you say you are, but from what is seen when you say nothing. Many men make the mistake of wanting to impress with promises, rehearsed phrases, or forced demonstrations, when in reality, the most attractive thing is a solid, coherent life full of purpose. True strength is not in adorning your speech, it is in the evidence of your actions. If your life is empty, it shows. It doesn't matter how much you smile, how much you try to please, or how much you pretend to be confident. If behind that facade there are no projects, no discipline, no path of your own, then what you convey is neediness. And neediness repels because it screams dependency. On the other hand, a life built with effort, with clear goals and with constant growth, projects natural magnetism. You don't need to talk about yourself. Your life does it for you. How to start building that life that speaks for you? First, invest in yourself. Take care of your body, because it is the first sign of self-respect. Discipline in exercise, nutrition, and rest shows. It's not about superficial aesthetics. It's about showing that you have control and self-care. This personal mastery is perceived and generates attraction because it sends an unconscious message. If you know how to govern yourself, you will also know how to govern your environment. Second, cultivate your mind. Ignorance is noise. Wisdom is silent power. Reading, learning, developing new skills makes you an interesting person, someone who has something more to offer than just company. A conversation with a man who reads and reflects never feels empty because it conveys depth, and that depth is scarce, so it becomes so attractive. Third, develop financial independence. Not because money is everything, but because the lack of it makes you a slave. A man who depends on others to survive always projects insecurity. It is not necessary to be a millionaire. It is enough to show that you can support yourself and choose from freedom. That freedom is a magnet because it conveys control and capacity. Fourth, surround yourself with a network of authentic relationships. I'm not talking about having many friends. I'm talking about having a few but loyal ones. The people around you are a reflection of you, and if you walk among mediocrity, that is what you project. On the other hand, if you surround yourself with those who challenge you, support you, and demand you to grow, your life rises, and with it your presence. Fifth, dedicate time to a purpose larger than yourself. It can be a project, a trade, an art, something that gives meaning to your days beyond pursuing affection. When you have a mission, each of your actions conveys direction, and that is irresistible because direction is the antidote to mediocrity. Attraction does not come from the man who wanders aimlessly. It comes from the one who advances with firm steps towards a clear horizon. Building a life that speaks for you requires daily discipline. It's not about expecting immediate results, but about accumulating evidence until you don't have to explain who you are. The woman will feel it, people will notice it, and you will know it without needing to boast about it. Because true authority is not declared, it is demonstrated. When your life speaks for you, you stop chasing. You no longer need to convince because your mere presence is argument enough. And then you understand the essence of attraction. It is not the voice that enchants, it is the life that backs up that voice. 4. Stand firm when you are put to the test. Steel does not show its worth in calm, it reveals it under fire. Similarly, your character is not measured when everything is easy, but in those moments when someone tries to bend you to see if you have strength or if you are just appearance. Every relationship has an inevitable moment when you will be put to the test. It's not about chance, it's part of human dynamics. People want to know how far they can go with you, if your word has real weight or if it breaks at the first attempt of pressure. That moment of testing may seem small, a joke that borders on contempt, a comment to see your reaction, a boundary crossed as if nothing. The important thing is not what happens, but how you respond, because there it is defined if you are a respectable man or someone who accommodates to the fear of discomfort. If you give in, you send a clear message. Your words are worthless. But if you stand firm, even if it is uncomfortable, you convey a security that generates immediate respect. The first thing you need to understand is that the test is not always conscious. Many times, it is not that someone plans to put you against the wall, but it is a natural instinct. Deep down, they want to know if you are authentic or if your security is just a facade. And in that moment, the reaction you have speaks more about you than any previous statement. To stand firm, you must start by recognizing your own values. If you don't have them clear, any test will find you unarmed. Ask yourself what things you would never negotiate. It could be respect, honesty, your time, your energy. Write them down, engrave those lines as a personal code. And when someone tries to cross them, remember that giving in is equivalent to betraying yourself. Another essential tip is to learn to keep calm. Whoever explodes at the test loses ground because it shows that their control depends on the provocation. But whoever holds their limit with serenity projects an internal mastery impossible to ignore. You don't need to shout or impose. You need to make it clear with calm firmness that your standards are not negotiable. You should also avoid falling into the trap of justifying yourself too much. A test is overcome with facts, not with long explanations. If someone pushes you to give in and you justify yourself endlessly, the message you transmit is insecurity. On the other hand, a brief, clear and sustained response makes it clear that you do not doubt yourself. Security is recognized in silences as much as in words. Another key aspect is to accept that there will be discomfort. Staying firm is not always comfortable because it means facing the possibility of losing something or someone. But here's the secret. What you really lose when you give in is not the person, it's your self-respect. And without self-respect, there is no possible attraction. Discomfort is the price of firmness, but the result is invaluable. Finally, understand that overcoming tests does not mean being inflexible or insensitive. It means demonstrating that you have a solid center, a core that no one can tear away. That is what truly attracts, because attraction does not come from a man who bends easily, but from one who resists, who stands up even when they try to knock him down. Standing firm when you are put to the test is to demonstrate with facts that your value is not in question. And that attitude not only awakens respect, it awakens genuine attraction. Because the silent strength of someone who does not betray himself is an impossible magnet to ignore. 5. Let go of what doesn't add up without looking back. The backpack you carry doesn't weigh you down because of what you carry, but because of what you insist on not letting go. This happens in life and in relationships. The heaviest burden is not failure, but the stubbornness of clinging to what no longer makes sense. The man who doesn't know how to let go ends up a slave to the useless, tied to memories, people or situations that drain his energy and make him walk slower and slower. Attraction and respect die when they see you incapable of freeing yourself from what doesn't serve you. Because if you don't know how to leave behind, you show that you don't trust your own worth to create something better. The psychology of attraction reveals a key point. What attracts is not accumulation, it's the ability to choose. A woman is not fascinated by a man who collects emotional burdens and toxic relationships, but by the one who knows how to cut without fear when something no longer contributes. This ability to let go is not coldness, it's power. It sends a strong message. I don't depend on anything that's not aligned with my growth. How do you learn to let go without looking back? First, stop idealizing what you lost. The mind tends to cling to distorted memories, painting in gold what was actually copper. Every time you remember something that didn't work, repeat the complete truth to yourself. You didn't let it go on a whim. You let it go because it didn't add up, because it was subtracting peace, energy, and dignity from you. Remembering the wound honestly is the cure for not reopening it. Second, work on emotional detachment from the everyday. Start with simple things. Clean your environment, Get rid of objects you no longer use. Cut habits you know are harmful. This daily exercise trains your mind to detach from what has no value. And when the time comes to let go of something bigger, like a relationship that doesn't work, you'll have enough emotional discipline to do it without falling apart. Third, understand that letting go is not losing. It's opening up space. While you cling to what doesn't add up, you close the door to what can come. Attachment deceives you into believing that without that you will be nothing, when in reality that is what prevents you from being more. The man who understands this never gets trapped in vicious circles because he recognizes that every end is a disguised beginning. Fourth, avoid the mistake of letting go with resentment. Walking away with hatred is still being tied because your energy is still in the same thing you claim to have left. Letting go with dignity means not looking back, not seeking revenge or explanation, simply deciding that your path is more important. That serenity conveys a strength that is perceived because it shows that you don't need drama to move forward. Fifth, surround yourself with environments that reinforce your decision to let go. If you surround yourself with people who normalize the toxic, it will be hard for you to detach. But if you build a circle that values self-respect and growth, letting go becomes a natural act, because no one wants to carry stones when they see others walking lightly. In the end, letting go of what doesn't add up is a declaration of power. It's telling the world, my time is valuable, my energy is limited, and I'm not going to waste it on what doesn't drive me. This mindset turns your life into fertile ground where attraction flourishes. Because whoever observes a man who knows how to close chapters understands that he is in front of someone free, someone strong, someone impossible to trap with weak chains. Letting go without looking back is not an option, it's a duty to yourself. 6. Speak your truth even if it's uncomfortable. The stone in your shoe doesn't get any smaller by ignoring it, it only hurts you more with each step. That's how the truth you silence works. It doesn't disappear, it digs deeper until it ends up destroying your dignity. Many men believe that keeping their feelings to themselves makes them easier to love, that always being pleasing and avoiding discomfort is a way to keep the peace. But that peace is false. It's the silence of someone who has buried their voice. And nothing kills attraction more than the predictability of the man who never says what he thinks. The psychology of attraction teaches that what's magnetic is not being aggressive or brutal, it's being authentic. A man who dares to say what he believes without disguising or softening it to please projects confidence. His word conveys conviction. He may not always be liked, but he always leaves a mark. Real attraction doesn't come from pleasing, it comes from showing that you don't need approval to be yourself. How to learn to speak your truth even if it's uncomfortable. First, understand that discomfort is not an enemy, it's a sign of honesty. If everything you say fits perfectly with what others want to hear, you're probably hiding your essence. Dare to discomfort with respect. Speaking your truth is not hurting, it's showing yourself completely. Second, practice consistency between thought and word. Often what destroys trust is not what you silence, but the contradictions your silence generates. If you think one thing and do another, the message you convey is insecurity. On the other hand, when what you think, say, and do are aligned, you project strength. That consistency is perceived and awakens respect. Third, learn to express your truth without needing to shout. Don't confuse firmness with aggressiveness. The calm but determined tone weighs much more than any emotional explosion. The man who speaks calmly in the midst of tension has a power that doesn't need to impose itself because it's supported by internal security. Fourth, eliminate the habit of apologizing for your truth. Every time you say what you think and adorn it with a sorry for saying it, you downgrade your message. Your truth doesn't require permission, it requires courage. It's not arrogance, it's authenticity. If it's uncomfortable, let it be. Those who respect you will value your clarity. Those who don't simply aren't prepared for someone firm. Fifth, practice speaking your truth in everyday life. Don't wait for big conflicts. Start in simple conversations. When someone suggests something you don't want to do, when you notice a comment that doesn't seem fair to you, express it without fear. That daily training strengthens your ability to hold your voice when it really matters. You should also accept that by speaking your truth you may lose people, but you'll gain something much more valuable: self-respect. And that respect is the basis of any real attraction, because nobody admires someone who hides behind a mask. Admiration is born when seeing someone who shows themselves as they are, even when that's uncomfortable. Speaking your truth, even if it's uncomfortable, is a declaration of strength. It means you're not afraid of rejection, that you understand your voice is worth more than any momentary approval. That attitude transforms the way others perceive you, because when you speak with conviction, without fear of the consequences, you make it clear that you don't live to please, you live to be authentic. The truth can be uncomfortable, yes, but it also attracts. 7. Give your energy only where it is valued. The light of a candle does not stop shining because someone ignores it, but it does burn out faster when it illuminates spaces that do not deserve it. The same happens with your energy. No matter how much you have, if you give it in the wrong places, you will end up extinguished. Attraction is not generated in the man who wears himself out chasing, but in the one who manages his energy intelligently and gives it only to those who know how to appreciate it. Because what is given without measure loses value, and what is protected with criteria becomes something desired. Many men make the mistake of spending their time and attention on people who barely return crumbs. They respond immediately, they are always available, they strive to please, but the only thing they convey is desperation. This attitude does not arouse interest, it generates boredom. The psychology of attraction confirms it. What is abundant and always accessible loses appeal. What is selective and scarce becomes valuable. To give your energy only where it is valued, the first thing is to learn to observe the responses. If every time you offer your time, your attention, or your support, you receive indifference or a minimal effort in return, the signal is clear. You are not a priority. And if you are not a priority, it makes no sense to spend what should be reserved for those who do value it. To stop investing energy in what does not contribute is not selfishness, it is self-respect. Second, establish a standard of reciprocity. It does not mean constantly demanding, it means recognizing if there is balance. A healthy relationship, whether romantic or social, is not a competition of who gives more. It is a natural exchange where both parties mutually add. If you notice that you are the only one holding, always pushing, always there while the other barely moves, understand that you are burning your energy in a bottomless pit. Third, invest that energy in your own growth. The most attractive thing you can do is not to chase, it is to build. Spending hours on your body, your mind, your personal projects sends a silent message of power. Your life is too valuable to dilute it in what does not contribute. That magnetism is perceived immediately because someone who invests in himself shows that he understands his value. Fourth, learn to withdraw your energy without giving explanations. You do not need to announce that you stop insisting. You do not have to justify why you are no longer available. Just reduce your investment where there is no return. That absence is noticed more than any speech. Controlled indifference has more strength than begged attention because it sends a forceful message: I do not wear out where I am not valued. Fifth, remember that energy is not infinite. Every minute you give to someone who does not deserve it is a minute you lose from building the life you want. The man who understands this does not get trapped in empty dynamics because he knows that his time and attention are treasures. And treasures are not distributed to anyone. They are reserved for those who appreciate them. Attraction arises from the man who knows where to put his energy. Whoever gives it to all ends up invisible. Whoever protects it and gives it with criteria becomes unforgettable. Because what is rare, what is hard to get, what is perceived as valuable generates desire. Give your energy only where it is valued, and you will discover that you do not need to chase anyone. It will be others who seek your light, because they understand that it is not available to everyone. 8. Make self-respect your greatest weapon. The most powerful shield is not made of steel or stone. It's the one of the person who doesn't negotiate with themselves. That's how self-respect works. An invisible barrier that protects you from manipulation, contempt, and emotional dependence. The man who doesn't respect himself becomes easy prey, because anyone can enter his life, dictate their rules, and leave without consequences. On the other hand, the man who makes self-respect his main weapon becomes untouchable because he sends a clear message. Here, my worth is not up for play. The psychology of attraction makes it clear. Self-respect is more attractive than any physical appearance or external resource. A woman may admire your physique, your money, or your charisma, but if she perceives that you have no respect for yourself, everything collapses. The most magnetizing strength is not the one that is shouted, but the one that is silently held with firm acts. Those who respect themselves do not seek validation, do not beg for affection, do not bend under pressure. That firmness is perceived and generates an interest that no superficial strategy can match. How does self-respect become your most powerful weapon? First, establish a personal code. Define principles that you do not break under any circumstance. It can be your time, your integrity, your dignity. If someone tries to cross them and you give in, you lose authority. But if you hold them, even if it's uncomfortable, you show that your worth is not up for debate. That consistency is what creates respect. Second, practice coherence. Self-respect is not in what you say, it's in what you do. It's no use claiming that you have standards if in practice you accept the opposite. Every time your actions contradict your words, your value weakens. But when you say no and hold it, when you decide to leave and don't look back, your self-respect becomes a silent weapon that imposes without needing to explain. Third, avoid demeaning yourself out of emotional necessity. Many men believe that insisting, begging, or accepting the minimum is a way to show love, when in reality it's the fastest way to lose respect. Self-respect demands emotional discipline. Control the impulse to settle for less than you deserve, and have the coolness to wait for what you are entitled to. Fourth, learn to assert yourself calmly. Self-respect doesn't need shouts or threats, it needs consistency. It's not about intimidating, it's about standing firm even when the other insists. Calm in firmness is more impactful than any explosion, because it shows that your strength does not depend on the other's reaction, it depends on your internal mastery. Fifth, make self-respect a daily practice. Don't wait for major conflicts to exercise it. It's in the small details, how you manage your time, how you allow others to speak to you, how you take care of your body and mind. Each decision is a training to reinforce that invisible shield, and the more you exercise it, the more natural it becomes. In the end, self-respect is not just your weapon, it's your identity. It's what tells the world who you are and what you accept. Real attraction is born when others perceive that your value is not up for debate. Not because you repeat it, but because you live it. A man who respects himself becomes magnetic because he inspires trust and admiration. He doesn't need to beg, he doesn't need to convince, because his mere presence already imposes a clear limit. Make self-respect your greatest weapon, and you'll discover that what you once pursued now comes to you on its own. Thank you for staying until the end of the video. If you watched the whole thing, comment "I am Stoic" as our secret signal to know that you're a true student of Stoicism. Don't forget to subscribe and give the video a like if you enjoyed it. See you in the next video, and remember, keep cultivating your Stoic mind.